Welcome to Exotic Car Hacks. Today we shall review the 812 Competizione, mastercraft of his work. In the old Japan days, we used to call this the silent warrior. Yeah, I mean, let's face reality. I'm not a good Japanese guy. And actually, I found this kimono not knowing why I even own this kimono. As a matter of fact, someone put it on top of my wardrobe, and I thought this was very, very awkwardly bizarre. So I'm gonna take this off because it's not a good fit, and I don't really know why it's even here. But today we are talking about, and you're not gonna believe this, but a Ferrari 812 Competizione. And yes, I bought this. I know, before we start, I haven't changed my mind. Ferraris are still pieces of shit, and I still believe that wholeheartedly. But it doesn't change that they do make a few good cars. The argument could be the same for many manufacturers, like Mercedes cars are pieces of shit, but they do make some good cars. Now, we specifically wanted to buy an 812 Competizione for Exotic Car Hacks because I am a believer that this is probably the best modern day Ferrari in existence that is actually on the road today from a fun standard and everything else. But before we actually go into the 812 Competizione and what makes it cool or shitty or anything else, I want to also say something about why I'm not a big fan of Ferraris. And I'm going to use this analogy that hopefully you guys understand. When you're banging out an 18-year-old blonde who's very lively, exciting, and cute, you typically think of yourself as a king because you have a blonde. The problem is white girls don't age well. I don't know if you noticed this, but by the time they're 30, they're kind of fat and they don't really take care of themselves. So their skin sunburn and it just doesn't work. So 9 out of 10 white girls look like shit by the age of 30, but you have that one gem that comes out in between. And that's how I think of Ferrari cars. They start really good, but then they're just total shit really early because they just start breaking and like the materials don't stick up well. For example, I have owned 3 812s between normal superfast cars and GTS. Every one of them had bad headlights. They used to fog on the inside, and you can start seeing this slightly happen here. This is every single 812, and even though this has been maybe what, like 5-6 years since the 812 has been out, they still haven't fixed this bullshit. So they keep replacing lights on the warranty. Doesn't really make sense. This car has 900 miles. That's right, 900 miles. But it already had a broken, leaking shock on the side. Again, what a bizarre situation. 900 miles later, shock's already leaking. Doesn't really make sense. How about the fact that the battery doesn't like it when you keep it on a tender, so it goes apeshit crazy like the Pista just because it's constantly left on a tender, unlike every other car in this place. So I don't really understand. And the part that we don't usually talk about enough is the interiors can't withstand any kind of climate at all. Like, you'll notice things like this, the whitening of the rubber, and it looks old, and yet this car is 2 years old and has 900 miles again. I don't understand that, but that's why I think a really cool Ferrari is just like a blonde in heat. 1 out of 10 will make it, 9 will just become fat and you'll regret your choice later. But could this be the one blonde that you can keep banging out past her 30s? We're about to find out today on Exotic Car Hacks. All right, guys, so first let's talk about this freaking spec. How sexy is that? Tailor-made Charles Leclerc edition. They come with the little fucking 16 here. This has the painted shields, which is huge on tailor-made cars, of course. An incredible flaky blue. And then the interior, stunning. I mean, unbelievable. And take a look at the tailor-made logos. All the cool options, of course, because most of these already come pre-optioned with most of the shit. And of course, carbon fiber wheels, which is absolutely a must on a special Ferrari. And I want to say how appreciative I am lately of these carbon fiber wheels, because you may have noticed that I had a Lanzante car that had carbon fiber wheels and carbon fiber barrels. And every time you drove your car out and a rock got here between the caliper and that, you had a huge scratch in the inner rim. It was so stupid, and yet nobody could get me a price on a new wheel. It was absolutely ridiculously stupid. Ferrari got that right, and I can give them some credit where credit is due. The car looks spectacular. Honestly, I mean, the F12 and the 812 were some of my absolutely favorite in every way Ferraris. Like, I adored them. I thought they were amazing, and I really, really, really adore the front engine V12 platform that Ferrari has. So this made sense to me because this is the kind of spec, or car I should say, that kind of fits in the collection. It's exciting looking, it's a great color combination, it's not fucking white like every other 812 Competizione, and I want to say it's an exciting design. Plus, it actually came already with Novitec suspension, spacers, which is a must if you have these carbon wheels. You can't really change these wheels because these wheels are incredibly expensive. And in addition to that, a really nice X-pipe, which sounds amazing, which you're gonna hear. But generally, the first question I get is, well, was the 812 that good? And I would say, no, not really. The 812 was okay. It was a good car for Ferrari. The 812 GTS was a very fun car for the money. I didn't think it was that great of a car. I thought at 500K, it had a lot to offer. I wasn't a fan that much of the experience. I made good money on the car after I drove it for a year and a half, took it on 2 rallies, so I wasn't complaining too much. But I never really had that, oh my God, I need to buy another one. It's so incredible. However, if I was looking at this, well, I said, what's better than an 812 GTS? Well, an 812 Competizione. And then I said, of course, an 812 Aperta would be better, but that would be an extra million. And I don't think that this is worth an extra million in a convertible form. Now, maybe an extra 200-300, maybe, but these cars are now going for 2 times MSRP. MSRP being around $1,900K to $1 million, some in the 800K range if they don't have options that are tailor-made. But ultimately, this car was roughly $1 million, and then when you add to that, to the premium these cars bring in the secondary market, that's 2 times MSRP, and the Aperta is bringing 3 times MSRP. So I don't know that it's worth a $3 million investment, but at a little bit under $2 million, I certainly think it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, I want to also state that if you're buying these cars right now, you may have noticed a little dip in the market, and the majority of these cars can be bought now in the mid-ones, which is very attractive because the F12 TDF is slightly under that, which means that this is now the undervalued product, as the F12 TDF, a lower volume car, is going to go and pass the dollar. We've seen this on the Speciale versus the Pista. We're gonna see that on these. So I'm a pretty big believer that these will soon have their moment, going to the $2 million mark again and kind of staying there, which is why I've decided to purchase one, not just because I love the car, but remember at Exotic Car Hacks, we talk about no emotions, and we talk all about the cars and the money and what matters. So the money matters as much as the car does. So it's not about flipping the car, it's about making sure that whatever we buy, the investment we make in the car is safe and continues to go up. So as we enjoy it, as we put some miles on it, then we go from there, and go, hey, I made some money, I enjoy the car, and boom, it's done. Look at this hood, unbelievable. And look at how it goes into the fenders, and like literally the fenders are altered and cut unlike the 812, and it's amazing. Carbon fiber wheels, of course you can't get these on the regular super fast or Competizione. Side skirts are different, doors, mirrors, absolutely the same. But then look at this amazing back end here, also very different, because the 812 carries, like the 812 trunk opens down here, the whole thing opens and you have your trunk. Here, you have no view at all, and you have your little camera that gives you a digital rear camera, and you have some storage here, which is pretty, interesting. We'll open it so you can see it. And take a look at this. You have some good storage, some beautiful carbon fiber here. I would say this is a little bit larger than the 812, which is nice. You have the Leclerc signature here, which is cool. And then take a look at like how much carbon and beauty exists just right in that shot right there. And I've argued this about all manufacturers. They put a lot of effort in their specialty cars. They no longer care about their mass-produced cars. But take a look at this rear bumper, which has always been one of the parts I hated the most about the irregular 812. Look at how sexy the diffuser looks, but then look at how sexy these vents look and how wide and exciting it looks with this back. It looks like a straight out race car, which is really exciting. So I give Ferrari a very, very high applaud on design here, because they've taken this car just like they had taken the Pista to that next level. So Cargio gave me a spectacular end of year deal on this. that really made it a no-brainer. But one of the things that I've appreciated about the guy is he has two incredibly bizarre different sides. He has the dealer side to him, which is the whoever walks in here will make whatever money side, which he's a dealer, most dealers are like that. And then he has his other side where he truly enjoys driving, and he has a very similar view of cars that I do. Like every time we just shoot the shit talking about cars, we almost agree almost 9 out of 10 times on every car, like, is this a good car, is this a bad car, etc. And we have very similar views in that way. So, you know, when he originally told me, he's like, you're really gonna like this, let me sell you this car. At first I was like, I don't know, and you know, and everything else. But then it was under warranty, so all this shock stuff can be fixed, whatever, it's not the end of the world. But I just was in that place where I was mentally like, do I really want an A12 comp? And he convinced me to buy this, and he gave me a spectacular deal on it. So a big thank you to Jacob at Cario for actually helping me acquire this car specifically, because it was one that I had my eyes on since I bought the Senna. And he made it very easy this time. And again, the transaction, even with my 765, was really, really easy between him and Exotics Hunter and making everything work out. So big shout out to Cario for helping me acquire this car. And now comes the ultimate test, which is the drive. So on the surface, you'll see that steering wheel is pretty much on par with a regular A12, nothing. All your modes, your AC, everything seems to be the same on the surface. The interface and the Bluetooth seems to work much better, but I think that's because, again, the early A12s versus this is a later thing, the Competizione came later. And then you have your second zone LED display, which is completely useless, but cool because that's what they do. And then, of course, like I told you, the digital mirror. So this is no longer like an actual mirror because there's zero visibility back there. It's completely like blanked out. The one thing they've changed, though, they've incorporated this design here from the SF90, which I think is good because this was a very pretty part of the SF90. And of course you have a cup holder. So all these things are great. And as you heard when I turned on the car, it sounds really fucking good thanks to the exhaust. So let's go for a quick drive and really see. Listen to that noise, amazing, right? Absolutely amazing, sounds great. You hear it, like it just wants to go, and it's so exciting. Not just the design, but like the actual experience of the feeling of the pedal. The steering wheel is a lot firmer than the regular one, a lot less loose. Sounds absolutely amazing. Massive power on demand. Again, I would have to agree with, I was talking to Andy Frizella over Instagram on Thanksgiving, and I was like, would you take an SF90XX or this? And he goes, nothing's better than an A12 comp. The front end V12 is where it's at. And I was like, yeah, I agree with that. But I wanted to know his opinion, and it clearly agrees with me too. So I think, I mean, again, amazing stability. You know, like I think very, very solid planted car on the road. Lots of road presence, very large, yet drives very exciting. You can feel the car wants to go loose on the rear end. So, you know, that makes it somewhat a little bit scary, but also a little bit exciting. So, you know, it has a little bit of both sides of the coin. It's docile enough, I think, in the street, but I think also when you want to really drive and open it up, it just gets, the wow factor is a 10. So we're gonna go this way. Like just amazing. And before you know it, you're already doing 100, which is great, you know? So definitely think that they nailed it with the driving dynamics of this car. It retains the V12 ferocious idea and looseness with the stability of a race car, which is really cool. And the usability. You know, I've always argued when you have a car that's too racy, you can't take it around anywhere and enjoy it. Like you can enjoy this way more than you can enjoy a Lamborghini STO because you have a cup holder and everything makes sense, and it's somewhat large inside and drivable. And if you're taller, you don't have this issue you have with some of the smaller cars. But yet it's more of a track car, I would argue, than some of these other cars. So, you know, I don't know that it has the stability of an STO around the track because it's going to be a rear wheel car with a, you know, V12 front end, but still, I think this makes V12 Ferraris, I think, are part of the reason. Look, the new Ferrari buildings right here, exciting. But, you know, I think that V12 Ferraris are part of the legacy of cars we're going to miss the most once they keep going to these smaller cars with hybrid motors and so on and so forth. That was part of the reason that I kind of bought this car, because I wanted to have a piece of what I would consider the nostalgia of what a great driving car was back in the day, and this was one of the ones that I wanted to add to. So, I don't know what you guys think. Let me know what you think about the 812 Competizione. Like, will this make me love Ferrari again? I highly doubt it. I still think the brand is total shit, but I think this is a really good car. I think this is a really, really exciting car. I think it's beautiful. And I think it drives and sounds really fucking good. And I think that that's what I loved about my Pista. And I've always said the Pista is a good car. And I would argue that this is a good car. So I don't necessarily know that this is the best car $2 million will buy. I wouldn't say that, because I have a lot of $2 million cars. But I would argue that this is definitely a great car. And uh, I think it's going to be a collector car. I think it's a fantastic car. And I think that it's very modern Ferrari of what Ferrari should be. If it stopped pussyfooting around with some of these other Romas and all that bullshit is creating for making money, and instead focus on making shit like this even better and get this product in the hands of even more people who can enjoy it. Because at the end of the day, I know we buy cars for the safety of the investment and stuff at Exotic Car Hacks, but at the end of the day, we're car guys and we all want like cool cars to drive. And when I, get to a place where I buy so many Ferraris and I can't get one of these, that I have to go buy it used, I can't spec it, it's just stupid. And that's what makes a brand stupid. It takes the cars away from people that not just can afford them, but really want them. And so, in my opinion, this is what kills the Ferrari brands. But cars like these bring you back to that moment where they still have it and they can still make it. So let me know your thoughts in the comment. What do you think about this spec? This car originally came from Jersey and then made its way to Canada and then came back after 2 owners in Canada. So, 900 miles is not that many miles, but nonetheless, it's still an interesting car to have traveled the world a little bit. I almost bought a P1 from Saudi Arabia, so I've become a little bit more open to foreign cars if the specs are really exciting. There's a lot of opportunity right now in the car market to buying some of your favorite cars as the final end of year kind of dip occurs, with some dealers being willing to move cars. So let me know in the comments if you've already joined Exotic Car Hacks too during the Black Friday sale, and looking forward to having an incredible holiday season with you guys. So happy holidays, and on to the next one. Maybe another Ferrari, who knows.